my fair rate of return is when the stock price goes up. Because many firms don't pay dividends. Like Google doesn't pay a dividend. And you must remember, when a dividend is paid, it may be too much information for you at this time, the stock price goes down on the day the dividend is to be paid by approximately the amount of dividend. So the stock price, so you receive a dividend check, the stock price goes down. So a dividend does not help shareholders much. It's only when the stock price goes up, it provides shareholders a rate of return. Yes, you had a.
Oh, you answered my question already.
Okay.
About the risk.
Okay.
About shareholders having all the risk.
They are taking all the risk. So that's why we say, hey, it's their money driving the firm, and therefore make sure they receive a good rate of return. You are creating value for your shareholders, right? Okay. You are destroying value. If JCPenney goes down, whose money is at stake? Shareholders. Employees are getting paid, yes. Vendors are getting paid. Lenders are getting paid. Shareholders, they lose everything. So that's why we say, look after them. Look after them. Maximize the stock price. Make sure you provide them a fair rate of return. Higher than, that's what value creation is. Okay? If based on the risk, they deserve to be they deserve to be provided with a 10% return. You provide them with a 12%, 13%. You are creating value. You see what I'm saying here? Yes. So I wanted to go back to that. So now, shareholders want the stock price to be maximized. Now, are managers on the same page as the shareholders? Are managers trying their best to maximize the stock price, or are they lining their own pockets? Are they looking after their own welfare? Managers. So this conflict of interest between shareholders and managers is what we call the agency problem. They are our agents. I'm a shareholder. Mark Zuckerberg represents me. He's my agent. Okay? As my agent, his job is to maximize Facebook stock price. Is he doing it? Or is he drawing fat salaries and using corporate resources to benefit himself? So this is the agency problem. Any questions on this? Okay. Now, who elects IBM CEO? Chief Executive Officer. Who elects? Do I elect? If I'm a shareholder, does somebody ask me, hey, you want to vote on the CEO selection? Am I approached by somebody for the election, for the selection of a CEO or election of IBM CEO? No. Top managers, the chief financial officer? No. I'm a shareholder, nobody asked me. It's my money, nobody asked me. Who's gonna run the firm? So who selects these top managers? They have who? Board of directors. Board of directors. So this is how US corporations work. So what happens is, all public corporations, public means like, these are owned by the public, IBM and Facebook and Twitter and Google and Apple, these are public, as opposed to a private firm. Your dad's company is probably a private firm, or your own company is a private firm, okay? So typically, a public corporation has a board of directors, okay? Board of directors could have a board could have anywhere from 5 to 6 to 20 or 20 plus members. Okay, so whenever you incorporate, so I don't know if you remember from your business law classes or some other classes that you must have taken. You have to choose a state in which you want to incorporate your business. Does anyone know where most US corporations are incorporated? What state are they incorporated in? Delaware. Very small state, but why Delaware? Because their business laws are very friendly. their laws are very business friendly. Okay, their laws are, so very few are incorporated in Louisiana and Missouri and Kansas, and so most choose to incorporate in Delaware. Okay, their laws are very business friendly. So now you have to have a charter. What is a charter? It's a constitution by which your company will be run. So the charter will lay out, how many board members there will be, and the charter will specify, how many years, a board member will serve and everything else. So like the U.S. is run by the Constitution, according to the Constitution. Likewise, each public firm is run according to the charter. So it has its set of bylaws, which are followed. Okay. Now, so when you buy shares in a public firm, when you buy shares in Apple or Walmart, most companies, they elect their board members every year. Some elect every 2 years, so it depends once again on the charter. So every year, you will receive, now it's all electronic, so I'm hanging on to, these. You'll receive a notice of annual meeting of shareholders. So they will invite you. Whether you have 1 share or 1 million shares, you will receive, this notice. Okay? So you will be invited to, at your expense, of course. The meeting could be in Boston, could be in New York, could be in San Francisco. And proxy statement. This is what they call a proxy statement. And they also enclose a ballot. This is how you vote on important matters. You all with me this time? Every year you'll receive this. Okay, as I said, you don't receive printed material anymore. You're directed to a website where you can download this stuff, and you can also vote online these days. Okay, so now, so they invite you. So this booklet, it's called a proxy statement, and what it does is it includes information on new board nominees who will be voted upon. These could be from previous year. Okay, so it's possible some are new additions, Their pictures as well as information who these people are. Okay, now, in the past, I tell you, it was a big problem. There was a firm called Tyco, security, home security also. You must have heard of ADT, home security business. So Tyco owned that home security business. And Tyco's CEO had his own sons and daughter-in-laws, serve on the board. Okay, so think about this. So these are people you are gonna vote for or against, for board seats. So you have all the information, okay, and you are given information on their on the top manager salaries, compensation. Also, you have a chart here, it gives you, and also there might be some resolutions on which you are asked to vote. Okay, so there could be non-binding or binding resolutions. Okay, so this is where you vote now. Now look here. In a regular election, political election, you have Mr. Trump. You have 2 choices, clear-cut. Sometimes 3 choices: Mr. Trump or Mrs. Clinton. Okay, so you know who to vote for. Board elections not like this. It's not either or, either Mr. Trump or Mrs. Clinton. No. Board elections are, let me read out your choices. Your choices are, I vote for all nominees. So you have 3 boxes here. I vote for all nominees. Okay. Number 2, I withhold my vote for all nominees. I don't like any of them. I don't like what you are doing. I'm not going to vote. So you abstain. Okay. Number 3, I withhold my vote for 1 or more individuals, and I'm casting my vote for the remaining, individuals. So those are your 3 choices. What do you think about this? What kind of say do you have? If you are a shareholder, you are presented with with a slate of nominees that you had no input on. You had no input on. Okay, who in the 60s and the 70s, you know, as I said, these people, they are gonna hire top managers. They are gonna be responsible for hiring your CEO, your CFO, your chief operating officer. You see what I'm saying? And these are the people who are gonna set the salaries of those top managers, their vacation time, and everything else, whether they'll be retained or fired the following year. And if these people are my sons and my daughters-in-law, then what do you think will happen? You have any guess what will happen? If the board is staffed with my relatives, what do you think will happen?
All gonna have the same views.
They'll have the same views. Will they be working for the benefit of shareholders, small shareholders, you know, out there?
No.
No, they won't. They'll be lining their own pockets, which is what happened. They'll be lining their own pockets. Okay, so back in the 60s and the 70s, things were very bad, I'm telling you, very bad. We had a ton of scandals. You must have heard of some of those scandals in the past. And I'm gonna share some more information with you on some of the scandals, okay? Things have improved quite a bit. For example, the New York Stock Exchange, we'll talk about it, IBM is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It's a physical exchange. So there is a requirement that a majority of your board members be independent directors.